Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week I went to see Monkey Man with Dev Patel, who co-wrote, directed, and stars in it. And I thought that this was going to be like, it looked like, like another stylish John Wick action movie. And yes, it is about a guy out for revenge. And yes, there is actually a dog in it for a little bit. But it becomes so much more. Like, it's much darker and like more violent. Because there isn't like stylish gunplay. This is all like people like beating the shit out of each other. And there's sometimes knives involved. So it's stylish, but it's also much more brutal. Like, the fight scenes are very brutal. Like, there were scenes where I was like, like the audience was all just like, ooh, ah, but it also it starts as revenge and then sort of it escalates and becomes like justice, It's still revenge, but it becomes more. And then there's also a group of trans women that factor heavily into the ending of the movie, which was unexpected, but cool. And it's really good, and it's just like, it's not just a John Wick ripoff. It's really well done. It's really well like shot and edited, and the action scenes are amazing. And Dev Patel is like hot, so so I do recommend it. I don't want to say more about it because I don't want to spoil the twists and turns in it. But it is really good, and I kind of wish that I'd seen it on a bigger screen. It wasn't in an IMAX, I don't think, but it was playing in the Dolby theaters. But the problem with the Dolby theaters was that, like, over a week before release, I went to look, and all the good seats were gone, and theaters were like almost half full, and I was just like, what? I didn't realize this movie was going to be that popular. And the more convenient showtime for me happened to be at the 19th Street Theater, which has very small screens. So I had to sit way down front, and it wasn't as impressive of a movie-going experience. So I kind of wish that I had gone to the slightly less convenient showtime and seen it in the Dolby Theater. Except the seating, I wouldn't have been in such a good seat, so it would have been like, eh. But a really big screen would have made it even more visually impressive. So yeah, I would kind of say go see it in a theater with an audience, and don't wait for it to show up on Peacock in a few months, which it will. So you could wait if you want. But as for gaming stuff, I put together another one of my Animal Crossing Lego sets. I did Bunny's Outdoor Activities, which is cute. But it's one of the small ones, so that only took like, 20, 25 minutes tops. I don't even time it, but it was like 20 minutes. It was like zip zip. And that leaves me with just the one left. I've been really taking my time. Like, I went a couple of weeks without even touching my Animal Crossing Legos because I just didn't want to like rush through them, and I wanted to make it last. But now all I have left is the one that's Tom Nook's store and the, I forget who it is, Rosie's house maybe? But it's like two buildings, so that'll probably take like maybe an hour to put together. That's one of the bigger ones. And then I'm all done, which is sad. And then I also played Avatar, and it turned out that, remember last episode when I said that I still had a bunch left to do, and I wasn't sure if I was going to finish Avatar for this episode? I did not have nearly as much to do as I thought. Because the thing is that what I had left to do was a lot of like busy work and collecting things. And a couple of them were just for the trophies. And I don't care about trophies. Like I had collected all of the kites. And then I realized when I looked at my quest list that I hadn't finished that quest because I was supposed to go back to that camp and speak to that person who gave me this quest. It's been so long, I forgot someone actually gave me that quest, and it wasn't just a collect all these things. So I went back to her, and we had a lovely little scene and story moment, and it was like, okay, good, there we go. And then I got my reward, which was an armor mod, which wasn't anything great. Although I did equip it because the bonus was I liked that bonus better than the one that I already had. But it didn't change my level or anything because I was already level 20 at this point. And that's the max level. So I looked at the other quests, the other side quest things, the miscellaneous things, not official side quests, like the collecting errands, basically, you might call them. And they were not, like, there's one where you have to collect these dolls, but they don't show up on the map. So you're basically just, like, searching for them constantly. And I'd found a couple by accident, but I was like, I don't want to go through, like, that was just too much effort. And all you get is like an armor mod, and I'm just like, no, it's not worth it. And because I don't care about the trophy. And there was another one where you collect these comic book pages, and it's like you have to find the computer terminal that gives you a picture, and then you find the location in that picture, and then you'll find a building with a comic book page in it. But collecting all of the comic book pages just gets you a trophy. It doesn't even give you new weapon or armor. So I was like, it's not worth it. I don't care about the trophies. I'm not going to 100% all the trophies and get a platinum. I could if I really wanted to, but it just becomes such busy work, and it's just like annoying, and it stops being fun just doing this nonstop collection stuff. So I was like, no. I said, we're fine. But looking at the trophies to see if there were any that I could easily complete, there was one. I did notice that I had found all but one of the wind flutes. So I was like, oh, well, let me just go find that other wind flute. And I like looked in the map, and I was like, the area on the map where the wind flutes were, there was like this little cloudy section that I like didn't uncover. So I was like, let me just go check over there. It's probably in that spot. And it was. And so I did the final wind flute, and I got that trophy. Because there's no reward, it's just a trophy. But I was like this close to it, so I was like, all right, I'll just do that. Then I'm like, okay, now I just need to clear up all the RDA facilities. That was the only other side quest I really wanted to make sure I completed. And it was basically the only one I had left. Except for a crafting side quest, which I was just like, no, that's annoying, because the crafting is annoying. So I went and I did a little RDA facility, and then I went to do the big one next to it. And I finally found, like, there were all these turrets and stuff that I couldn't destroy and I couldn't hack, but I slipped past them, and I got up to the building, and I was looking for a way in. And I found I could climb up the rocks, and I could jump over onto the roof, and then I'm like looking for a way in there, and there was nothing. You know, it's all just rooftop with pipes and tanks and things, and I'm just like, what is happening? And at no point, like, I was in the middle of the building, and at no point did the game say, okay, here's what you need to do to destroy this RDA facility. You sabotage this, hack that, whatever. And I'm like, there's nothing. So I looked it up online, and sure enough, that's the building for the final quest. That's the final mission of the game. I was like, oh, that's why I can't find my way in, because you have to do it during the final mission, and there's a secret way in and stuff. So I said, okay, fine. And I went over and I decided I was going to do the side quest RDA facility before I finished the game. I didn't want to try to do it after. I wanted to try to do it before, so that at the end of the game and the end of the story, I could just stop playing, and that would be the end. And I wouldn't have to go and do this. So I went to do that side quest where they're like, don't do it till you're level 20. It wasn't really that bad. Because it is not a regular RDA facility, you didn't have to like try to sneak your way through. You do sneak your way through, but it's like through a very linear section after section after section. And you can't really sneak through. There was one section where I was able to sneak over and hack the thing, but as soon as I hacked it, all the enemies converged on me, and I was like, well, now I've got to fight them anyway, so it's like, whatever. So I basically would get to a new area, and I would try to take out as many of the enemies as I could, if not all of them, and then I would go and hack or sabotage and do what I got to do. So it wasn't that bad. I think I died a couple of times during it, but it wasn't too bad. And because it was a separate side quest, it's not like, you know, dying takes you back to the beginning of it. It remembered where you left off. So like if you die, it takes you back to the beginning of that area, that section, and everything else you've done has still been done. And I was like, thank goodness for that, because otherwise it would have been really frustrating to have to do everything all over again. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, done. And I didn't get the trophy for clearing the air because I didn't do the other one yet. That was the final mission. So I did the final mission, and it was not bad. It's a lot of sneaking around, a lot of this, a lot of that. It took a while. It was a little long, but I finished it. I will say at the end of it, there's a story scene, a little cinematic, that this character behaves. This character has been annoying and horrible, and then turns, and then is like horrible again, and then is like, okay, now I'm good. And it's like, okay. But then at the end, I don't want to spoil it at the ending of the game, but this character behaves out of character the way he was, not the way he became. And I'm like, what? And it kind of took me out of the scene for a minute. I was like, why are you acting this way? What is happening? And then I'm like, oh, it's just to prolong the drama and whatever. So I was like, that's kind of lame, but whatever. But I destroyed that facility, killed Mercer, done. And the Na'vi have their planet back, and everything is cool. And I cleared the air. I destroyed all of the RDA facilities. And I'm done. And I don't think I'm gonna ever go back to try to like. I could go get the trophies for platinum, but it's like so much collecting and busy work and annoying things, and I'm just like, no. It is time to move on and play something else. Something like Super Mario RPG that I have also got for Christmas. I mean, I played Avatar. I checked the PlayStation app, and I've been playing it for like 95 hours, so I got my money's worth. Well, it was a Christmas present, so I didn't pay for it, but whatever, you know what I mean. But I also got Super Mario RPG for Christmas, and I barely made a dent in that because I couldn't play 4 games at the same time. So now I will be able to focus on Super Mario RPG and play that. Although I haven't yet, because yesterday I did not play Super Mario RPG. I actually popped No Man's Sky back into my PlayStation again because there was another update that updated the space stations. I wanted to see what they look like because the space stations always looked the same. Every single space station had the same exact layout. So now they're like, nope, every space station is going to be like, it's going to look different on the outside, and it's going to look way different on the inside, and it's all different. It's all like spaced out, and there's different levels, and it's a whole thing. And it's cool, but I mean, it's nothing that's going to make me jump back into No Man's Sky. So, which is good for Super Mario RPG, because otherwise I might have a problem. But no, like they keep adding all these updates to No Man's Sky, and sadly, it has made me not want to play it anymore because it's gotten so complicated and so over the top. There's too much going on. I liked it back when it was simple. You know, they did add that story quest that got me to go back in because I wanted to do that story quest, but I couldn't activate it because there was some bug somewhere in the system. So I was like, oh well, if I can't activate the story, then fuck it, never mind. And I got frustrated and I put it away. So yeah, we'll start Super Mario RPG. So come back next episode, and hopefully I will be playing Super Mario RPG, and I did not start something else. Fingers crossed. Bye!